Welcome to our Brothers in Conversation podcast, powered by Jesse and Shondell. Shondell, you are from?
Bed-Stuy, Do-or-Die, Brooklyn. That little town.
That's a little town. That's nothing like Hawthorne, Nevada. Population 5,000 cats and dogs.
That's not me buzzing, is it? Because that was a buzz like.
I don't see this. Do you hear it on your end at all?
I didn't hear a buzz.
I didn't.
Shondell, nothing on this end?
Okay, I think we're okay.
Yeah.
I think that was just a shot from the powers up above saying we're going to have a dynamite program. I think that's what the buzz was.
Oh, I feel it. You're talking about the spirit.
Right.
Come on now. Hello.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm connected with the spirit now.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I follow the spirit.
Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Well done. Well, I'm going to say our introduction is welcome to our special edition of Brothers in Conversations, powered by Jesse and
Shondell.
Shondell it is. And this episode is amazing. Episode number 39, January 15th, Untold Stories, up close and personal with Bubba Knight. Bubba, listen, you've been introduced many times all over the world, so I won't go super long on this, but you have some powerful stuff I'd like to pop out there for people that Lisa did a little research for us on that I want to say. How about this?
Okay.
An original founding member of Gladys Knight and the Pips, founded in 1952. Oh, yeah. Is that correct?
That's correct. Woo-woo.
Okay, got it. And performing artist for more than 63 years, man.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even look like you're 63. How could you be performing for 63 years?
Come on, Jess. I started when I was 10.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. That makes more sense now. Because you got all your teeth and you still can grow hair on your face. And so.
Hey, man. Look, quarantine, man. Quarantine. Come on, Jess.
Can I just say you look like a young Craig Knight?
So, but because I want this to be a vibrant introduction, so I want to say a few more things about you. Former president of Perfection and Performance, Inc. Tell me real quickly, what is Perfection and Performance before I go further?
Well, that was the corporation that we had our group performing under.
Okay, got
Perfection and Performance. And if you look at it, the acronyms is PIP.
That's right. Oh, so that's where the Pips came for.
Hello. Come on.
Wow.
Oh, no. That's not what the Pips saying. There's a story behind that I'll share with you once we get into the conversation.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to say a couple more things, and I want that story right away because I do not want to forget. Because I my version of the Pips and what your version is, yours is probably more accurate because I was thinking Pip Daddy, almost like Pimp Daddy. Okay.
Oh, no. We've tried to look. There were so many people trying to link us with Pimp over the years. Hey, Jesse, including Johnny Carson. Including Johnny Carson. He cleaned it up. Though.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
If Johnny Carson cleaned it up, then I promise you I'll keep it clean. So here we go.
No problem.
Recording artist for MCA, Columbia, Buddha, Motown, Max, VJ, Fury. I think that's Huntum and Brunswick Records. Huntum.
It's like two different people. Like Hunt, because one of the owners was named Hunter.
Okay.
And one of the owners was named Tom.
Oh, gotcha.
So they split it
Hunt Tom. Got it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. And story behind that too.
I like that. Save that story number 2. One of the first African-American musical groups to have a TV summer replacement series, Gladys Knight and the Pips on NBC television, 1975. Dude, I can tell you right now, that was a major anomaly back in the day because all we had was black and white way back then. So performed around the world, including Japan, New Zealand, Australia, England, Germany, Italy, Spain, Holland, Canada, South America, Norway, Dubai, and various Caribbean countries. I got a funny feeling you've been around the world. So welcome to the program. I am looking forward to start with that story number 1 you wanted to unpack about the PIP.
Okay, it's Pips. Okay, the name of the group is Gladys Knight and the Pips, as you well know.
Okay.
Now, the name Pip came from my cousin James Woods. His nickname was Pip.
Okay.
And He spent all of his money and drove his car, took her to engagements, and all of those kinds of things. And we decided to honor him by naming the group the Pips, because the group was named the Knights.
Right.
The little Knight family.
Right.
But we had two cousins in there who were Guest. Their name was Eleanor and William Guest.
Okay.
So we wanted a name of the group that could encompass everybody.
I love that. You know, let me tell you, first off, and Shondell, I want you to weigh in after me on this one. I'll tell you what I love about that. What's cool about that, Bubba, is oftentimes in the world that you came in professionally, most people get really dominating about their name and their ID and their stamp and their signature. I love the fact that even though all that was going on around you, you guys were very, very inclusive. That's huge. What about you?
You got it. I love it. That was our whole motivation. We felt like if we all headed in the same direction, if we all come together and be a group. My Mama Knight always told us there's success in numbers.
Right.
And there's power in numbers. So she taught us to stick together and go together and head in the same direction, and we can get anywhere we want to go with Heavenly Father leading us.
You know what I love about that? That's such a very simple concept. Mama Knight taught you a very simple concept that most people complicate, Bubba.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. And you know what, Bubba? I put a question out there. I said, what did Bubba Knight teach Shondell?
Oh Lord. No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I need to give everybody the answer, right? I need to give everybody the answer.
What is
right?
the answer? What did you? What did you?
The answer is Bubba Knight taught Shondell how to do the correct selfie.
That's right. That's right. I told Shondell, I said, Shondell, you got to put it in a cradle, buddy. You got to cradle that iPhone.
Rock that baby. Rock that baby.
Rock that baby.
Well, this is good. Well, you know, you guys actually, you and your family, I'm going to tell you the truth. You make it look easy. You make it look simple, you make it easy. But I think that, and you weigh in, Bubba, I think when you've got a professional, no matter what their profession is, but in the entertainment world, there's so much more that meets the eye. And so, but you guys make it look easy, you make it look smooth. But I think when you can do that, there's far more in-depth work behind that to make it look easy.
Jess, I got to tell you one thing that Bubba told me. Now, Bubba, you remember this because Craig always repeats it. And Bubba said, everybody don't understand that is show business is 10% show and 90% business. I never forgot that.
Right. That's right.
So
That's right.
Thank you for that, Shondell. So, Bubba, to weigh in on that most people, when they see, because you guys make it look smooth, you make it look elegant. Not to mention, you got some major success with gold records and platinum records and you know, big record contracts, blah, blah, blah.
Hall of Fame.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us, break it down for us about what was it like, what has it been like for you in making it look so simple, but tell us what's behind that.
Okay, Jess, this is the key. We all felt like if we are passionate, like Mama Knight taught us, if we're passionate about what we're doing, you put in extra work. We had a choreographer. Speaking of the choreographical part of it, we had a choreographer. His name was Charlie Atkins, who choreographed many, many groups, the OJs, the Manhattans, and Temptation, you name them, okay? Pops, when I say Pops, I'm talking about Charlie Atkins.
Right.
He would teach us to the choreographical moves, and we would practice them. And I would practice even after the sessions were done.
Nice. So
that the next day, when Pops came in to add another segment, I would already have the first segment down.
Nice.
So he could move quickly.
Nice.
And when doing that, we practice and practice. What we used to say, you eat it, you dream it, you sleep it, you perform it, you do all of that. So that's what makes smooth transitions when you're standing in front of an audience, because you know it.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to think about it. It's intuitive. It's native.
Yeah.
It's yes.
There you go.
That's powerful.
Yeah. It's just like my home out there in Kansas City. He's got an innate kind of a feeling about being a quarterback. So when things break down, he's smooth. And
Oh
so
yeah.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing as performing. When we performed on stage, if something went awry, if a microphone fell over, or if anything distracted us on stage, you have it so much innate in you that you can move on smoothly, and the audience would never know.
You make the adjustment is the point.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
it.
You
You
make the
go with
adjustment.
man.
Yeah.
I remember when
You
I was
got some good nuggets.
Yeah, Jeff. I was in I had the privilege of performing in Smokey Joe's Cafe, right?
Right.
And we had costumes on. And part of the costume on the guy that was in front of me, when the four of us were singing a song, his equipment fell off. It fell off in the middle of the stage where we had to dance, right? So what happened was I choreographed a routine that I had to circle around that piece that was on the floor. And I reached down and got it and threw it off the stage like that. And people thought that was in the act.
But you know what? Bubba, you couldn't have done it. You couldn't have done that. You would not have had that innate display if you were worried about getting the moves right, getting the moves down. You'd had no concern over that.
That's it. That's where that practice came in right there, man, because it was already in there. You know that part. Now you got to add a little something, but you can keep that part to continue.
I like that. Can I add a touch to that? You're saying this, and I know what you're saying, and I know Shondell will weigh in on this too. You're talking you're talking about the practice being the magic. I'm hearing you say that. However,
that's it.
I don't think it's just practice. I think you and your team and your family diagnose the best way to practice, because the saying says practice makes perfect. People believe that. It's not true. Perfect practice makes practice perfect.
There you go.
So in other words, you practice the right stuff consistently, because practicing alone is not going to get you there if you're not practicing the right stuff.
Right.
You got it, Jeff.
That sound like my golf game.
Hey, Jeff. And Pops, Charlie Atkins, and Maurice King, musical conductor, used to drill that in us.
Yes.
They say practice like you're on stage.
Correct.
You practice. You just don't run through steps and run through the harmonies and all that. You practice like you're doing it in front of somebody.
Right.
The audience.
Right.
That's right.
And that gives you that confidence, man. When the curtain goes up,
boom,
Jeff,
showtime.
Bam.
Showtime.
Wow.
Showtime. I love that. So growing up, in the early stages, before you guys hit the universal scene, did you have I know you had a dream likely, but did you guys set goals? Did you dream? How did you know that did you believe you were going to be this major sensation in the music? Because it was very competitive. It still is, but it was very competitive when you got, especially for people of color, because there was a lot of cover artists getting out in front doing our stuff and putting it out there, and a lot of times we were in the backdrop. So what was that like for you?
Well, actually, when we came together, when we would meet and practice, we said, we want this practice and this group and this family to be the best that it ever was.
I like that.
Wow. So we got to stay in there. We got to do what we're going to do. And we're going to have to deal with the ups and the downs and all of the obstacles that's gonna come in front of us, because we knew they were out there. But if we stayed together like Mama Knight taught us, and go ahead and go forward, keep our dreams alive, to be the best group and the best entertainers that we could be, we'll get there. Putting him in front of us.
I tell you what I like about
you know what, Jess? I always love. I could listen to Bubba all day long. I could listen to him, man. You know, there's something that you said that I love, and it goes back. You know, today is Dr. King's birthday, right? His birthday. So, you know, I always live by a quote that he says is the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in times of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy.
Amen.
Last year was a bunch of challenge, right? We both lost our pastor, right?
Oh yeah, Dr. Fowler.
We had a lot of close family members. I believe, you know, you had some close family members. I had some family members.
Yes.
And so with life hitting us that hard, what do you tell these people on our podcast? How do you continue on to smile like you do and live like you do? 'Cause you always light up a room, man. I love it.
Thank you, bro. Well, Mama Knight always told us that there are going to be times, there are going to be dark days, but you have to keep the focus, and you have to. That's a time when you strengthen your faith. All right, and you go inside, and you say you believe, and you go toward everything is going to be all right. We will get past this. This is not the only obstacle, or this is not the only problem that we're going to run into in life, especially being black.
Right.
Especially being a brother and a sister, man.
During that time.
Yeah, during that time, Mama Knight told us, said, you know what? You're going to have to be 10 times better. You're going to have to be 10 times better than any of the other races that's out there.
And you know,
and if you think that way, and if you head that direction, and give it all you got from the bottom of your soul, keep the faith and drive ahead, you'll get there.
Well, I love that. I love that thought, and I love that Mama Knight taught you that. And I love that you guys lived into it. But what I like about that is, rather than feeling like you got an albatross around your neck because of the nature of the color of your skin. Yes. I see that for me, and I'm seeking to relate to you with this, is as I see myself being challenged in the early days because of my complexion, I see that as a challenge. I don't see that as an albatross. I believe that was given to people that have the endurance to survive and to thrive and to bust through, regardless of what the circumstances are. Right?
Wow. That's right. I love it. That's me.
So to me, I don't see being black as a punishment or as unlevel, unfair. If things in life were fair, we wouldn't learn a damn thing. Okay?
Right.
There's a lot of things in life that's not fair. Not just being black in a predominantly white environment, or predominantly white culture, or predominantly white world that makes the rules. Many things in life are unfair. That's what makes you get up off your butt and do something to balance the sides or excel.
Exactly. Jess, I'm telling you, you and Shondell, I just want to tell you that my blackness, I was so proud of it, even before James came out with, I'm black and I'm proud. I'm black and I'm proud. You know, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. I'm already proud when we were working on those tours back there. And we were traveling through the South.
Yeah.
And anytime, like say for instance, I'm gonna bring it up a little bit further. When we were headlining, when we were performing at the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel a long time ago, I was so proud to be a headliner at the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel. And we had just opened up for Goldie Hawn.
Right.
Goldie Hawn was a big stone laughing, right?
Right, that's right.
And so she wanted to break into the live performance, like in the showroom.
Right.
So they had us to open for her. After the show, Baron Hilton came down to our dressing room and said, you know what, I loved your act. Would you like to headline in my hotel?
Wow. I just got chills. Got chills.
Baron Hilton, man. What is that? That Paris' daddy, right?
Yes. Wow.
Anyway, he came out there and he said, I like y'all so much, I want you to headline. And that's when we got a chance to headline at the Las Vegas Hilton, where that was Presley's turf.
For sure. Big time.
That was Presley's turf,
Big time.
And as an African American, I'm going like, whoa, we really making a difference.
Yes.
You know, we're making a freaking difference, man. And I'm proud to be black because I'm opening the door for some of my other brothers and sisters to come through here. Come on now.
That's
Well, you make me proud, and I'll tell you what, that is a great story because Jess and I both worked in the industry, in the gaming hospitality industry, and we know how big that is. That is phenomenal.
well, what Shondell's saying, Bubba, is as Shondell, I didn't know him back in the day, and he didn't know me. We didn't know each other even existed. But in similar time zones, as he was making his way up through the corporate ranks as an executive, I was doing the same thing, and I never met anybody else in the industry that looked like me or had even close to the complexion at my position or higher. It just wasn't there. So what Shondell was saying, we know it from an inside perspective, not just from what you see in the news. We lived it. I'm sitting in a boardroom at Horst de Jure was the president of the Flamingo Hilton at the time. There are 14 executives in the room. I'm the lowest level executive. The rest are VPs, and then the president comes in. And before the president comes in, I got one VP reaches across the table and says, "Hey, Jess," he says, "Do you realize you're the only black person in this room?"
Wow.
I said, "No, not until you mentioned it." Right? Now, I mean, come on. Now, never mind. This dude has some issues because this guy, let me tell you about his complexion. This dude was Cuban. He was Cuban. Do you know how close to being black you are being Cuban? What you talking about? Just because my hair ain't straight, that doesn't mean I can't hold my own here.
Right.
So to Shondell's point, we lived what you lived. You lived it on a bigger stage than Shondell and I did. We welcomed you to, we were executives welcoming people like you to those stages.
There you go.
Because that's what we did. But your sister, Gladys, I saw a piece and talking about what you said about the South, and she said something. I'll never forget this because I've used this. She said, the interviewer asked her about the difficulties of the South and the colored bathrooms and the separate bathrooms and all that stuff at the time.
Yep.
And she said, when she was told that you had to do two shows, one for the Caucasian people in the evening, and if they were going to do a show where black people come, they have to do a separate show at a different time.
In the basement.
In the basement.
Come on. I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead. And so that's it.
Up.
So go ahead. Take it off from there. Take it from there.
No. Yeah, we were on tour down south. And what happened was, it was D. Clark on the show. Jerry Butler was on the show. There were about 4 other acts. I think Solomon Burke was on the show. And when we rolled into town, we were doing a bunch of one-nighters on the bus tour. Okay, Supersonic Attractions, I'll never forget. D. Clark went on, and we had to go through the downstairs of the auditorium to the basement.
Yes.
Where they had the brothers and the sisters down there at a dance. You know, it was a dance. Everybody was just crowded in this basement. No seats, no nothing, just crowded. And they had a little area for, for us to perform.
Right.
A little square. So we would go in that little area right there, and the audience was surrounding us.
Wow.
All right? And we performed, and I'll never forget this. I got to tell y'all this. When D. Clark went on, he had this song called "Hey Little Girl with the High School Sweater."
Yeah.
See, I like to hold you better. That, right? Right? He had that on, right? And D. Clark went out there and sung "Hey Little Girl in the High School Sweater," and boy, these sisters went mad. They went crazy, and they charged the stage, right?
Yeah.
And they got a hold of D. Clark. D. Clark was he was a real ladies man, right? D. Clark was a killer.
Right.
Anyway, they charged the stage and they grabbed D. Clark, man, and he was trying to get away from it. And this is the time we didn't have no security.
Right.
What you talking about security? You better fight for yourself.
Oh, right.
You better throw them dukes up, my brother. Anyway, come on, Jess, Shondell. So this is what I never forget. We went on after D. Clark, but D. Clark ran off the stage, man. He was sweating, and when he got where we were, D. Clark had on this gray silk suit. I'll never forget it. It was gray shark skin. Right? I don't know what y'all remember.
Yes, I do. I do.
It was a gray shark skin silk suit, and D. Clark, when he got to us, his pants was ripped up so bad it was a dress. They tore his pants off.
Wow. Wow.
I ain't gonna forget that. Y'all made me
Funny.
think
That
about
was
that.
funny.
Oh Lord.
No, but that's so cool. So stories like that's the joy behind the inequities. There was joy.
Yeah.
The point I take from that, Bubba, there was
Mhm.
joy behind the inequities. To me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Most people think it was just all bad. Yeah, it was very difficult. It was very hard. But you just brought some light, some joy behind that inequity, being in the basement and this dude doing this thing and the sisters clamming up to the stage to get him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And to follow up on that, Jess, this is what happened. After that show, after we finished with the brothers and sisters downstairs, the promoters, which Mr. Wynn had some white people out front that was promoting. You see how it worked?
Right.
It was his. He owned Supersonic Attraction,
Right.
but he had some white people picking up the money and like seeing over the whole show.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So they came and told us that, okay, you finished this show downstairs. Now, I want you to, for an hour, I want you to prepare because we're going to take you upstairs.
Right.
We're going to take you upstairs for you to do the same show upstairs. And when we got upstairs, there were theater seats for the white folks. It was theater seats and a stage.
Right.
And the whole shot.
Big time. Big time.
That was the difference between playing that auditorium. We played for the brothers and sisters in the basement. And then after our show in the basement, we went upstairs to perform to the white audience. I mean, pure white audience. Okay. Yeah. No brothers and sisters, all white.
Yeah.
And so how did you feel about that? Well, how would you? I mean,
I didn't like it.
Okay.
Okay, Jess and Shondell, this is how I felt about it. I said, you know what? I have a platform. I'm an entertainer. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try to be as popular as I can be, so I can make a difference. Because one day, them same white people that's up there in the theater seats, and them same brothers and sisters down here in this basement, I'm gonna see them come together like this and enjoy me performing and singing.
Wow.
All right.
You know what's powerful about what Bubba's saying about the come together and enjoy me because he's bringing they are bringing their talents and their expertise and their work and their effort and their heart and their belief and their faith to the stage.
You got it.
His sister Gladys Knight said what you just said on that same piece. She said, and I don't remember the Super Bowl, I don't remember the number, but she said at the end, she told the story like you're telling, and she said she wanted to come together just like you just said. And then she says, imagine that tomorrow we are performing at the Super Bowl. That's with everybody coming together. Remember that?
I didn't hear that, but
yes,
she was right.
That's what she said. So she said the same thing you just said.
That's good.
Her dream and her thing was to perform in a collective body because you guys hit the stage for everybody, not for white people and not for black people.
You got it right.
I'll say this, Bob. I think you guys, I don't know if people appreciate what you guys have done because you guys brought people together.
Correct.
Through your music.
Well said.
That's right.
And let me just tell you this, Jess. Growing up in New York City, right? And what I love about Gladys Knight and the Pips is the fact that they transcended generations. Right?
Yes.
I remember them getting into hip hop. Remember that?
Yes.
Was it Love Overboard? What song was it? You guys got more into hip hop.
Yeah, Love Over. No, it was Saved Over Time for Me.
Saved Over Time
for Me. Because we introduced the first break dancers in that video.
Wow.
we shot that video in New York City in the street. All right.
Yeah, I remember.
And I had never. I said, God, these guys down on they on the concrete dancing and breaking and jumping. And one guy was spinning around on his wrist and doing it. I mean, I'm going like, this is amazing. Hey, I'm going like, wait a minute now. I'm one of those we're one of those groups that go like bam, bam, boom, 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 footwork and all that
Right,
kind of
right,
stuff.
right.
Yeah.
Don't tell me we gotta go there. Come on now, wait a minute. Now wait a minute.
Because I remember showing my dad the video, because you know that's when videos were getting hot, right? And
Yeah.
so I showed my dad was like, "Oh man, you don't know nothing about Gladys Knight and the Pips. Let me show you." So we connected and bonded on that too.
Well,
man.
That's
Yeah,
it's so many amazing things when you're telling these stories. I'm thinking about that. Shondell and I, even though like again, you and your family had it on that big stage, so it was actually much more difficult being looked at by billions of people, you know.
Yeah.
Especially during those difficult times, because you had to keep your grace. You couldn't say exactly what was on your mind all the time, otherwise you wouldn't get to be on that stage. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
So you had to be very graceful about that. And so I want to put a connection. Shondell talks about growing up in New York. I grew up in northern Nevada, Reno, the first 5 years, in Hawthorne, Nevada, the next 12. It was predominantly white areas, and it was challenging there. Not quite as bad as in the South, but still a lot of that. And when you think about it, if you look at your birth certificate, where were you born at?
Atlanta, Georgia, Grady Hospital.
Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm a Grady baby.
You were Grady baby. Where were you born at, Shondell?
Newark, New Jersey.
Newark. Do you remember? Do you recall what they put on your birth certificate as far as the race? Do you know? Do you remember, Shondell?
You know what? I think it was black.
Black. What about you, Bob? Do you remember?
I think it was. You know what? I think it was black. If it was not Negro, I had to look at my birth certificate.
Okay, but it's one or the other, right?
But I think it was black.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And if it was black,
yeah.
if it was black or Negro, that would be, in your opinion, fitting. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
guess what's on my birth certificate?
What?
Colored.
Oh,
Really?
you got the
My race on my birth certificate is colored because I was born in Mississippi, Oxford, Mississippi.
Oh, you got the colored stamp.
I got the color stamp, and I refuse to live into a disposition of being colored. I'm not doing it.
There you go.
I'm not going to let you
Jess.
tell me what I am. I'm going to tell me what I am.
Yep.
Now, I had to do it gracefully,
Oh yeah.
or I couldn't have risen. You guys had to do it. So I only tell that story when you talk about doing your work in the South. I got a stamp of being colored and being diagnosed as being colored. They're all colors in the rainbow. What color is colored? What race is colored?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what, Jess? I want to ask you, Bubba, what's going on today? There's a lot going on today. There's a lot of talk about race and culture, and even the insurrection that happened at the Capitol last week.
Yes.
What are you thinking? Like a person who has lived through the civil rights era, through all of the things you talked about, the Jim Crow South. What are you thinking right now about what's going on in our country?
I'm appalled that what's happening right now, and I'm so upset because it's such a different standard as far as how things are done with the white world, and how justice is done with the white world, and the justice is done with the African American and minority world. Okay, so I'm appalled. And now, what's happening at the Capitol? I'm so upset because it's really frightening that they could have that much support and that much organization to even attempt to do something like that and then do it.
Yeah.
Oh, it just upsets me to the hilt, man. And like justice for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all of and Trayvon Martin and all of those brothers and sisters who's died, and we still don't have any accountability. They could go up in the Capitol and kill one of our police officers, and we're not getting any accountability. We're not getting any justice. We're not getting, and they're white. They've turned on each other. Shadon. I'm sorry.
It's all good. You're passionate, brother.
Yeah.
It got to me.
But you know why I asked you that? You know why I asked you that? The reason I ask you that is because when you say all the work, because like Jess said, we've seen it from other sides, but you have poured so much into bringing people together, and now we see some divisive and some divisions. It's like, man, I put in all this work. I know your work is not in vain, but it had to touch you in a certain way.
Right, exactly. Shondell, I understand perfectly what you're saying, because it did take me back. It did take me aback, because like the story that I was telling you and Jess about that concert that we did for the brothers and sisters in the whites upstairs.
Right.
I go back to that because the last part of that information was the state patrol people were standing on the outside of the stage door telling us to get out of town.
Wow.
What? Wow.
Yeah, the state troopers were telling us, the white state troopers were telling us, okay, you did that, now you got to get out of our country, across the state line.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So, that's another part of it that I left off. But that was real.
Right.
All
So your point, Bob, is you had a lot of adversities, a lot of challenges, a lot of I'm going to use the word dichotomies, where on one side you were okay by the people bringing you there, but by a lot of the people that may have been on the outside of that concert, you were not okay. So you had a lot of that shift. You guys had to play. You had to be beyond entertainers, in my opinion. You had to go beyond being entertainers.
You nailed it.
We were marching.
That's good point.
Go ahead. We used our platform to put boots on the ground like Martin Luther King and Congressman John Lewis and them. We used our voices and our music to march along with them.
To make a statement.
To bring about change.
To make a statement. To say
to make a statement.
You were saying, by you guys being the brilliant musicians and artists and entertainers that you know what you were saying to me? You were saying, we are here to stay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that's what your music was beautiful, but it also went beyond the musicality of it. It went beyond, it was an entrenched statement that the quality of what you had was an offering that was appreciated by all.
That's right. Man. Mama Knight, this is another nugget that Mama Knight taught us. They said, now, although y'all young right now, I want you to respect and treat yourself in a way that, she said, I want you to treat yourself in a way and make yourself be able to sit among kings and queens.
There we go.
And still walk and live with your brothers and sisters.
Exactly. So you saw all of the challenges and the travesties as part of the game to pursue and exceed regardless of the baggage and the bull.
Bring them together.
Yes, sir.
I get it.
Now you give me skill bumps. Let me do Jeff.
Bring them together. Pull them together. Pull them together. Merald,
you know what?
You and your sisters in them.
That's right. The two of you have heard this before. You ready? You ready for this, gentlemen?
Okay.
Too much is given, much is required.
Much is required.
Much is required. There you go.
Period.
Yeah.
So we got to suck it up. And we got to do what we got to do.
Absolutely.
In order to reach that goal, to make things change for the better, man.
To serve self and others. It's not all about you.
Yep.
If you were making it all about you, you would never been as successful as you guys have been.
That's
you
right.
got it right. That's right.
That's what I mean. That's why I love talking to the man, James. Like I said, I can talk to him for hours, man. He, and he has, and it's crazy because I see some of these artists who don't have the humbleness and the spirit that you have. And so I would love to share with them, hey, look at this guy, man. He's been in the business over 6 decades. Imagine that, in the business over 6 decades. He's still humble. He's still sweet and generous and loves life, man. It's like, that's why I appreciate people like you. And we always have a saying, we always gotta really recognize and love and respect the people like you while you can still smell the flowers.
And on top of all that, Shondell, he still has a $10 million smile on his face perpetually.
Oh man.
Perpetually.
I tell you.
Right. The man hadn't stopped. The man maybe stopped smiling 2% of the time we've been on the program.
Right.
My mother would say, "Boy, slap me! I'll knock that grin off your face."
I'll slap the taste out your mouth. I'll knock that grin off your
My mother would say, "I'll slap the black off you, boy." And I was a thin little boy. My mother would say, "Boy, you ain't got enough ass to hold water." She was from Louisiana. That's why she said all that crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah, I love it,
But
man.
no, this is amazing. Go ahead.
Hey,
Bob.
Jess, I gotta go back to what you said about your birth certificate.
Yes.
About being colored on your birth certificate.
Yes.
I was when I was a little boy, Mama Knight took me to Cress's, 5 and 10 department store in Atlanta, Georgia, downtown.
Yep.
She took me to Cress's. I didn't understand. I'm a little boy.
Right.
And there was a colored fountain and there was a white fountain.
Right.
A water fountain, right? There was a colored bathroom and a white bathroom, right?
Right.
And so I asked, I'm a little boy. I asked Mama Knight, I said, Mama Knight, Mama, what's colored? What's the colored water? What's the colored water? And she lifted me up and held me over the fountain,
Right.
and turned the white water on and said, drink. I drunk it.
Wow.
She took me over to the colored water fountain. She picked me up. She put me over there and I would drink. And she turned the fountain on. She said, now drink. And I drunk. She said, did you taste the difference?
No.
I said, no. It tasted the same to me. I'm a little boy. The best I could explain.
Wow.
No, it's good, Mama. It was good. It
Wow.
was good. And she said, one of these days, you'll understand a little bit better why this sign is colored and this sign is white. And you'll get to that point.
Wow.
Wow, but what a great analogy to let you taste the water inside of your mind that let you know there may be two distinctions as in colored and white, but at the end of the day, they taste the same. It's the same stuff. They're coming from the same place.
Here's why I love that, because here's the thing that people have to understand today, Jess. People are saying they're feeling injustice. They're feeling like they've been done wrong. But understand this, that Black people only want equality, not superiority. Equality. So we want the water to taste the same.
Right. Come on, Shondale. That's it. Come on, Shondale.
Well, and you're right, but my vote on all this team, and you guys may be different from this. I believe that equality is earned, not given. Don't expect for it to be given. We must earn it. We must continue to earn it. Because everybody has their crosses to bear. Too something for somebody. Too fat, too tall, too smart, too dumb, too ugly, too good looking. Everybody has their own crosses to bear, even if it's not a Black thing. So I believe that we must battle and fight to earn it, not expect it.
But here's the key. Here's the key, though, Jess. You got to be playing on the same football field.
Fair enough.
Right? I play football. So you can't give me a bigger football and throw another football to another team and give them an advantage. Or in a race, right? You can't tell me to start 10 yards behind or 50 yards behind and you get a 50-yard head start. So equality means, hey, let's start at the same place. And if I work harder than you, I earn it. I want to go back to what Bubba said. We shouldn't have to work 10 times as hard as he said his mom told him. That's not fair. We shouldn't have to work 10 times as hard. If I work 10 times as hard as you, I should be up here, not we're in the same space, right? So I get what you're saying, but I think that the biggest thing for me is equality means equal chances at the same thing and making sure that we all have the same opportunity at life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Fair enough. Good call, but Bubba, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
My perspective has always been, even moving beyond the colored on the birth certificate, being the negative N words I was called growing up in a predominantly white space as well. My thought was this, is that I understand the onus and the challenge of being 2 to 3 times as good as the next just to be considered equal. I see that and understand that. I am not going to attempt to force that to change because it's outside my hand. What I'm going to do is focus on what I can do to at some point have other people follow on my path to use the value of being 2 to 3 times as good, but don't oversell it and don't boast about it. Keep it humility. And so perhaps if enough of us get in the chain that they see, wait a minute, there's quality here. Maybe that is what makes the shift, not demanding it, if that makes any sense. What are your thoughts?
Yes, it does. It makes a lot of sense. And that is part of my motivation.
Yes.
Because I feel like be the best that you can be, Bubba Knight.
All the time.
That's what Mama Knight taught me. Be the best that you can be. Although like Shondell was saying, there are some disadvantages and some disadvantages for me that advantages for some other people, but you still go inside and you be the best that you can be, because
exactly
you could really be the turtle that win this race.
Exactly. And so here's the thing, team. Everybody wants a card-carrying membership in our society. When you're born white, you get that card automatically. Now they can lose the card. They can lose that card, but most of the time they don't, right? We have to earn that card.
Right.
Yep.
So I have an honorary membership in the playing field that can be revoked at any time. So I'm happy about being an honorary member in the game of life, to live the quality of life that I believe I desire and deserve, and to be able to serve others with that. That's what it's about. You tell me. Tell us, Bubba.
Yeah. And I feel like, and I'm happy owning that card, but I'm happy paying my dues.
Yes.
Because paying my dues,
it is.
Come on.
It's making me better.
Keeps me being better.
Dude, you showed up before rehearsal. You showed up before rehearsal. You did the rehearsal. When they left, you stayed afterwards. You were the Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan was born.
There you go.
So let me ask you this, Did I know we've got about 5 minutes left on our program. Let me ask you this. I knew this was going to be the 5-minute hour. Let me ask you this. Did Papa Knight, you've been telling all Mama Knight stories, did Papa Knight share anything that you can share with us, or?
Yes, I can. My dad.
You're going to have to sing the song now. You got to sing the song now.
But, yeah. Actually, my dad was quite an inspiration for me as a young boy.
And he was good He was good looking too, because I can see some of that on you.
That's what they say. They say my dad was. Yeah. Well, okay. Check it out, Jeff, Shondell. My dad, in the early days, I never will forget. He was a pioneer as well.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was one of the first African-American black postmen in Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
And my dad used to drive this truck, special delivery truck. And I never will forget, I'll be quick on this, but I used to miss my dad because my dad worked 3 jobs.
Wow.
So I didn't see him that much.
Wow.
And I'm a young man growing up in a family with my mom and my sisters.
Right.
And before my little brother David came along, I was it. And I needed my dad in order to see what a man was supposed to be like. Right? So anyway, with my dad working 3 jobs, I had very little time to be with him. So one day, I decided with my little young self, I ran away from home.
Okay.
And what I did is I ran away. And when I ran away, I got in his car, the car that he drives to the post office. I got in his car and I got in the back and I got on the floor and I put his rain slicks over me. So he didn't know I was in there. And when he got to the post office, I said, Dad, he said, oh, excuse me. Okay. But you know what he said.
Yeah.
Okay. My dad could cuss, boy. He could cuss. Anyway, when I did, and Dad said, boy, what are you doing here? I'm getting ready to go in and sign in. It's the post office. I never will forget. We were parked on the side of the street. And he said, in that time, we didn't have no iPhones or any connection. And he said, "Oh Lord, your mama don't know that you here. I got to find out a way to let your mama know that you're here."
Right.
And he said, "Stay in the car and get back under the rain slicks
Oh my God.
while I go into the post office and call your mama and tell your mama you with me."
Right.
Wow.
He came back out in the car. He said, "I don't have time to take you home, so you're going to have to ride." Now, I hope I ain't getting him in trouble with the post office. But anyway, he said, "All right, I want you to be very quiet and you do exactly what I tell you to do." I said, "Okay." So he pulled the truck up behind the car where we were parked. And he said, "Okay, come on." And so I got in the truck. I got in the truck with my dad back there where the packages were, right?
Wow.
And so he drove around and was delivering special delivery packages. And my dad, at one time, when we got so far away from the post office, he said, "Come in." And he gave me a package. And he said, "What I want you to do, I want you to go up to that door. I want you to ring the bell. And if the bell doesn't work, knock on the door. And when somebody comes to the door, you say, 'Special delivery, special delivery.'" That's what I did.
Wow.
And I gave him the package and jumped back in the truck. But that was a special time with my dad, man.
Wow.
And by him being by his work ethics, all right, by my dad's work ethics, that made me okay to work, because that was the way that I could achieve what I wanted to achieve. That's the way he kept food and a roof over our heads,
Right.
man, and all of that.
Right.
So anyway, I didn't want to take up all your time.
No, but that's a good story. The moral of that story is, what is the moral of that story for you about sneaking into your dad and all of a sudden now he's got to carry you around and work? What was the moral of the story for you on that story? I know there's something magical there.
Wow.
Actually, I saw where my dad broke a color line, because that's when the Ku Klux Klan was, man, down there in Georgia, in Atlanta. The Ku Klux Klan, man, was, I mean, the hooded people were just, I mean, they were free.
Wow.
They just walked around and ruled everything.
Wow.
And a quick story right quick. And I felt proud about my dad breaking that color line with the post office. All right. And I was proud about my dad. And when he would show me what a father was supposed to do and be, he would come home late at night and he would wake us up with his flashlight and bring us some Krispy Kreme donuts.
Wow.
And we would have donuts there so we could spend that little bit of time bonding with him.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, my dad was in the post office for almost 40 years, so I know it. Wow.
Okay.
Owe a lot to your dad. That's big.
Yeah,
that's very powerful though. That's some pioneering stuff. Like Shondell's dad was in the post office like yours. My father in Hawthorne, Nevada was the first black firefighter in Hawthorne, Nevada.
Whoa.
Wow.
Very small town, super small town, 5,000. And my aunt was the very first black female police officer in Reno, Nevada.
All right.
The difference is, while they did those first, there were pressures and stresses and difficulties, not like with the Ku Klux Klan rolling around.
Yeah.
I think your father really trumped it and having much more difficulties and probably some anxiety and fear as well.
Yeah.
As he was seeking to take care of his family. My father probably had a little bit, but I don't think they really can be compared. Even though they were first, I think my cousin Richard Pryor probably did a lot of stuff that you did and your father did, because he broke a lot of ground as a comedian, and that's he's my cousin on my father's side. My grandmother's maiden name is Pryor. So,
okay, cool. I work with your cousin. I work with Richard. We
no
went on
way.
tour together.
Well, what was that like?
Man.
Well, give us a Pryor story.
No, well, you know your cousin.
Oh, I do. We're gonna have to get off the channel to tell me that story.
You got to get up. Hey, come on now. Come on, Jess. Hey, Jess, let me leave it at this. We went on tour together.
Right.
And we kept our distance. we embraced each other. And we nailed it.
Yeah.
And real quick. I don't want you to run out of time.
No, we're good. I want to hear it.
But let me tell you, your cousin Richard Pryor had an offer to do a TV special.
That's right.
It was his debut. His debut special.
That's
for
right.
his network. And Richard called me on the phone. We were living in LA. I had an apartment. I had a building in LA at that time. Anyway, he got on the phone. He said, Bubba, I want you and the Pips to come on over to the studio because I want you to do something.
Wow.
I'm going like, okay, I'll get on the phone, Richard, and I'll call Gladys and let her know. He said, I ain't said nothing about no Gladys. I ain't said nothing about no. Did I say Gladys?
That's my cousin.
I say the Pips, get your boys together and come on down to this studio.
Wow.
And so we went down to the studio, and he had gate. We went through the gate, and we went to the where he was filming this thing. And he said, "This is what I want you to do. I got your tracks, all right. I got your tracks and your music, and I want you and the Pips, just the three of y'all, to do what you do.
Right.
That's all I want you to just do what you do. You ain't got to learn nothing. Just do what you do.
Right.
Right. So I choreographed the three pieces that they had got put together for us.
Yeah.
And what they did was they shot the three of us. And then when Gladys's part was to come on, they were panning the camera over to where Gladys's mic was.
Right.
Where she was supposed to be singing. Then they come back to us. And then they go back to, and it was the funniest. I get more comments about that Richard Pryor thing.
Wow.
Oh man, it's still a classic.
That's cool. That is so cool. I really wish. I know that's nowhere we can get that footage anywhere. Unfortunately, I would love to be able to see that.
Yeah, glad just do the Pips on Richard Pryor. Google it.
Okay.
Come up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out.
Watch that, boy.
Yeah. And anyway, let me go back to right quickly. You know when we had the sit-ins with Marsh Brown, Clark,
yes,
A&T, all of those schools when we're doing the sit-ins.
Yes.
I was working at Richard's department store at that time. I'm gonna be quick, Jess.
Okay.
I was working at Richard's department store at that time, and my cousin Edward Patton, another one of the Pips, were working on the bridge.
Okay.
Where the students came in, and I was upstairs in the employees' cafeteria where I was working in the kitchen doing dishes. And Edward called me. He said, "Send word up to Bubba that the students are coming in." So I went down to the bridge where the students were coming in, and the police and the Ku Klux Klan marching outside and all of that. And they told us they had a meeting. The owners of the managers of Richard department store said that any employees that serve these students, consider yourself fired.
Wow.
Any employees in Richard's department under our employment, you're fired. You're automatically fired.
Wow.
So I went downstairs where my cousin Edward was, and we started serving coffee to the kids that were sitting on those stools.
Right.
And we just served them.
Right.
While the Klan was marching down the street with their robes and stuff on. But anyway, breaking that barrier, man, busting that barrier. Anyway, Jess,
but that's a great story. But with that one, Bubba, what are you most, I don't want to use the word proud of. What are you most, when you think about your past and you're living in the present, what are you most cherished? That's the word. What do you most cherish?
I cherish that we're still here. After all of that, look here, Jess. Look here, Shondale. We're still here. I'm sitting here talking to you guys. I'm talking to you and Shondale.
Yes.
All right? We're still here. We still have a respectability out there. People still respect us. My sister just did verses with Patti LaBelle.
Yeah.
And we all come from the same school.
Yes.
We all were in the same class, man, as babies.
Right.
You know, and we're still relevant to a certain degree.
Wow. That's powerful.
So, come on, Jess.
No, that's pretty powerful. Shondale, what do you value most about the fact that you are a genius and you put this together? Other than that, you know
what? No, I tell you, I always, I heard Bubba do an interview, and he was telling a story about Michael Jackson and when he met Michael Jackson and little Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
And he and Craig were having a dialogue as if they were sitting on the couch just talking about these people like they're not world superstars. And what I love about everything that he's done, like even recently, he wrote a song about October 1st and really brought people together around that. So, just it's one of those things that I could see the soul of a guy like Bubba Knight. He is, as you can see, just sitting here with him.
I agree.
At this time, it just gives you a certain different type of perspective on life, right?
Thank you, Shondell.
He just helps me to have clarity, and I say, and earlier this year we interviewed we had conversations with Craig, right? And you see where Craig gets it from. So I'm just always amazed. We always give a shout out to Lisa Farrell, because Lisa, Jesse's wife, is the one that brought me and Jesse together to have these conversations. It was I'm just humbled, and I feel blessed to have somebody like you sitting here with me and Jesse.
Oh, it's amazing. Well said, Shondell. Let me, as we close out,
Jess.
then I want to put my sentiments there. I'll tell you.
Thank Lisa.
We will thank Lisa definitely, because she's exceptional, and she also keeps the ball in play. Not just that she brings us together, she makes sure we stay on it. So we definitely have to give that to her. But I want our audience and the people that are listening to this, whether they're your family or our family or friends or colleagues, I want people to really share this out there. When you guys get this on Facebook, share this out there on Facebook. Subscribe to this channel. We're going to be bringing in fact, Bubba, you will be coming back. You're too good to do one show. Okay. So first off, I'm not asking you, and I know this is disrespectful after we just made, you will be back. So let me put that out there. All right. So that's out there. So that's covered. We already signed the deal. You will be back. And so what I want to say to you is, because I tell you what you're doing, Bubba, and you're not even doing it intentionally. You are inspiring people watching and listening to this. You are inspiring me. We get paid to inspire others. That's what we do. Professional speakers, life coaches, executive coaches. I get paid to inspire people. I rarely get the opportunity for someone like you to inspire me. Okay.
Thank you, Jess.
And here's what's inspirational. Here's what's inspirational. You never once, I even asked you, and I staged the question different ways. You never once talked about your fame, or you always knew you were going to be famous, or you tried. You never talked about any, or your celebrity, any of that. Here's what you taught all of us listening to this program. You taught me, and I know Shondell will resonate with this big time. Goosebumps coming, Shondell. Here it comes. You taught us that you must have faith, trust in self, and whatever your belief system is. You must bring that to the table, and you must search out to continually keep improving to be the best you can be, not shooting for gold records, not shooting for platinum records, not shooting for stardom or celebrity. You must do what you need to do because you can. Yes. And see, that's what you taught. What's inspiring is you've remained humble over all the accolades and all the coin that you've earned and all the celebrities that you've touched, and you've remained grounded that you are a human being making a difference. You're helping us learn how to be difference makers by doing what we were put on this planet to do.
Yeah, you got it.
That's what this interview has done for me, and that's what I wanted. I hope that's done that for countless others watching this, saying, listening to Bubba Knight, and Shondell and Jesse talked to Bubba Knight, and he's so candid, open, just straight up, and all of your gravitas and all of your earnings and all of the things that you have ascended to came from your heart and soul, belief and faith, and how you were raised, and how your parents, how Mama Knight and Papa Knight did their thing, and it stuck. That's what resonates with me.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah. That's so good.
Yeah, it's true.
I just want to say before you sign off that I wrote a song called "Thank You for the Love." That's my latest rendition, and "Thank You for the Love," and performed by Rachel Oliver Cobbin. And we're just getting that started out in the general public right now. Thank you for the love, and what it is, it's a tribute to the doctors, the nurses, the frontline workers who are out there giving their lives. Come on, man. Put their lives on the line to help us through this terrible pandemic.
Right.
All right.
How can we buy that song right now? How can we buy that?
Oh, I'll get it to you. Oh, now you can go on right now It's on Spotify, and I'm working
iTunes?
with this. Huh?
Is it on iTunes yet?
Yes. Thank you for the love.
Okay, thank you
Thank
for the
you
love.
for the love. Yeah.
All right.
And Bubba Leany said to tell you hi.
Hey,
He's on
lady,
Facebook.
what's up?
That's
Hey,
awesome.
man, I love you guys, man. Y'all, I like talking to you. I just, hey.
Well,
right.
I don't know why you're saying that. I don't know if it's because you got nailed into a contract that you didn't get to negotiate. I don't know if that's.
No, man. I'm just loving you guys, man, because what you're doing is so important. It's getting a positive word out to the community,
Yep.
and you're helping me to bring people together like what you're doing.
Yes,
So
we'll do
look
that.
For it, man.
We will
Keep
welcome
up
you.
with-
I appreciate that. We will welcome you back. And Shondell and I always close our show with this because you live this concept. And quite frankly, I need to get your digits. However, don't do it now because I don't want everybody to get your digits. I don't know. Are you much of a book reader? I say books on the shelf, so I know you read books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'm studying a couple of books right now. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm going to gift you, we don't have that many because we've been sold out. I got lucky because we had a client in Canada, Eastern Canada.
Uh-huh.
Her name is Betty Elliott Kitchler. She knew that we were out of How You Leave Them Feeling books. That's the first book. She shipped me 2 cases of How You Leave Them Feeling books. I've got about 15 books left, and I want to sign one off and send it to you because How You Leave Them Feeling is the concept that I hear you living that concept right now.
I love it, Jess.
So
Thank
I got to
you so
get your
much.
digits. I'll get it to you.
Yeah, we'll give you that information. Shondell, you had anyway, we'll
I'll
contact
forward it to him. I'll forward it to him.
Shondell.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Jess.
So you're welcome. And here's the thing: we like to close our program by say this. We say that there's many things in the world that have us challenged, and sometimes we get to enjoy triumph. But at the end of the day, if you really want to live the life that you want to live in service of self and others, it's all about how you leave them feeling.
Yes, it's how you leave them feeling. For real. Thank you, Bubba.
Have a great.
Thank you, Shondell. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Lisa. Thank all of you guys.
Thank you, Craig, for loaning us your daddy for a minute.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, gentlemen.
All right.
Bye now.
All right. Okay.